You must be new security guard.
Can I help you, officer?
Have you met them yet?
Met who?
Them.
All right, we finally got that Five Nights at Freddy's movie that they were working on for a couple years now, and yeah, we finally got it. Okay, so this movie has been in production hell for a while, actually. I remember when they announced, I think it was like right after like the first game. It was the first game took off, and then immediately Hollywood was just like, oh, let's make some money, let's do a movie of this. And now 9 years after the first game, we got the movie. But yeah, I think it was like right after the first movie released, the first couple games, Hollywood said, hey, let's see if we can cash on this. Let's see if we can get a movie going. To then, I remember when I think it was Warner Brothers got the rights to it, and they had Gil Kinnan, who did Monster House. He co-wrote Ghostbusters Afterlife, and that was doing the new one. He was gonna be directing, and then just delays and delays and delays. To then Kinnan left. To then they were trying to figure out what was going on, and then I remember that Warner Bros. Sold the rights off to Blumhouse, who has I think a first look deal with Universal. So it was under Universal and Blumhouse, and then Chris Columbus, who did, he did the first two Harry Potters, he did the first two Home Alones. He was gonna do this. To then he dropped out, and then eventually got Tammi, who was the director of this. And I would say that being in production hell for quite a while, they managed to pull off an interesting movie. Now, I would consider myself maybe a casual fan of the series. I mainly know this series because I watch YouTubers that have played it, and I'm going like, okay, this seems very interesting. But even though the games are pretty similar in style to each other, it's the lore. They managed to keep adding so much lore to it, which I find really cool and creative. So I was going like, okay, what are they going to do with the movie? And they managed to, do a pretty decent job. Now, this movie is also very divided. You have a whole bunch of critics saying like, oh, this movie sucks. But then you have the audiences going like, they actually managed to do a pretty decent job. And here's my take on it. While I think this movie is a good movie for the fans, and it is in many cases a movie for the fans, there's a lot in this movie that I went, yeah, I didn't like that. I thought that was silly, or that was boring, or that was kind of stupid. But at the end of the day, I was going like, you know what? It's a movie for the fans, and I'm surprised they managed to pull it out of production hell and and make a pretty decent film. So I give them credit for bringing, I think it was Scott Cawthon in to help do the story and the script. And also, Jason Blum for understanding that the fans are the key demographic for a movie like this. We're not looking to please the masses. We're looking to please the fans because this is what they want. So I'm very glad that they looked at that and went, okay, let's make a movie for the fans. So right off the bat, they did it. There was a lot in here that it went, oh, that's from this game. Oh, that's from this game. Oh, that's from this game. So they managed to do a pretty good job at that. Now, outside of that, I didn't care for the characters. I didn't like the script. A lot of the situations, and I was going like, this is kind of predictable. So with the characters, I was going like, I just don't really care for anybody in this. So there was nothing really emotional, nor I had a specific character to hold on to, because I'm just like, but I know I should be rooting for you, but I don't really care for you. The script. I understand that, when you're looking at a 5 Minutes of Freddy's movie, you're not going to get an amazing Oscar-worthy script. I understand that. But there was a lot of parts in the movie where I went like, that piece of dialogue just sucked. Or like, yeah, that part was just lame. And then also the situations. I do like how the way they made it, so there was a reason for him to go back to do 5 minutes. It made sense, because after the first night I was just like, that was boring. To then 2, when stuff starts happening, it's like, okay, I'm not coming back here. But they gave it a reason to then come back for nights 3, 4, and 5. They made sense of it, because in the game it's like it's like you can't get another job, so this is the only thing you got. So okay. The backstory of I think it was main character was Josh Hutcherson, which between this and Zathura, he's got to stay away from robots. He's just got to stay away. I think he did a pretty decent job. I didn't really care for his background, where he was trying to figure out, like, there's a certain thing in his past where he was trying to figure it out. I'm going like, but at the end of the day, I don't really care, because I kind of know what's going to happen. I kind of know what is going to transpire, how it's going to transpire, and what the result is. And sure enough, I was correct. But again, I knew that, this was a movie based on a video game that was a pretty simple video game. So I'm like, I'm not going to nitpick about, like, the little things. And I understand that this is a movie for fans. So I think at the end of the day, they did do a pretty good job. Now, them throwing the elements of the games in here was a nice touch. Matthew Lillard, I think, did a really good job. Josh Hutcherson, I think, did a pretty good job too. But the thing that I liked was 2 things. One, they threw in 2 YouTubers that I watch, and The other was the fact that they put the Living Tombstone song in the credits. I thought that was a very cool like touch. I'm like, yeah, that's gonna make people like get all excited. And I've seen like theater reactions because I didn't see this in theaters. I watched it on Peacock, and I saw like theater reactions and people were actually like screaming because they were like so happy. And I was just
Oh my God!
And I was just like, see, this is what this movie's for. It's for the fans. So, me as a casual fan, I think they did a pretty good job. I think that this could potentially make more movies, especially since they've now said that this is Blumhouse's highest rated film. And, I think if they do that, I may check out the next one if the script is a little bit better and a little bit tighter. Then maybe I'll like it more. But as it stands, I would give this an average, where it's right in the middle. Where I go like, I understand that it's a movie for the fans, but me, I wish they brought a little bit of stuff, like other stuff in. And this, to me, I would have liked this a little bit more, but I do understand that this is for the fans, and I think for the fans, they managed to do a really good job with it. So, will we get more? Probably. And, I'm never going to a Chuck E. Cheese again. Even before the movie and even before the games, I was just never going there because of the animatronics. So just, nope.
What do they want?
They want to make her like them.
Papi! Tell me how to stop them.
It's too late.
Papi, go!
Where to? Why do I always get the weirdos?